last project we've heard about was the resilient cities and how you focus on community or neighborhood level. Can you perhaps talk a little bit about this?
Well, we live on an earthquake an earthquake fault, so people are pretty aware that we need to do things to strengthen our buildings and our reservoirs and our tunnels and our roads. And the engineering side is really important, but all of the research shows that for survival after a major event, it's the level of social capital that you have in a city, whether people actually know each other, whether they're aware of people with frailties in their streets. And again, that's a more feminine side of resilience. It's the connecting up of people in a street. So I initiated the funding of Neighbours Day, which is a weekend at the end of March, and we just put some very modest amounts of money into initiatives like a street picnic or a street barbecue, and we promoted it with a whole lot of posters, again, of people in ordinary houses but with a range of ethnicities. So here we have an Arabic writing. We handed that out through a number of different organisations like our council housing. We also have got an example in Chinese. And again, this is all about people feeling you're talking about them. It's not just standard white woman. Or we also have a very strong Maori culture in New Zealand. And as a migrant to New Zealand, I've had to learn a lot about that. And as in many traditions, the roles of men and women, the formal roles, are slightly different, but there is a very strong place for women. When you go onto the marae, which is the Maori meeting place, you're led on by the women, and the women walk in front. Then the men sit at the front and do, in most of the different iwi around the country, the men do the formal talking, though not everywhere, but the women lead the singing, and the singing is just as important as the speeches. So again, I think different cultures make it more or less easy to recognise gender equality.
You are part of the 100 Resilient City Initiative and Mayors for Peace. Do you think it's important that cities work together and share best practices to build the city of tomorrow?
There's a huge amount to learn from each other. Sometimes it's mayor to mayor, sometimes it's the officers. I think all of us have found Jeanette Sadiq Khan, her experience in New York, very inspirational. With the 100 Resilient Cities, it was great because they brought the mayors together from some of the different cities, and to be able to talk to the mayor of Rotterdam, the mayor of Amman, the mayor of Athens is extremely useful. There are a number of women mayors amongst that group, but again, it's a minority. What we can learn from each other, we've been sharing some very simple initiatives, as well as Neighbours Day. We have a very simple initiative where a blue line is painted across the road, which is called the tsunami line. So there's a lot of science behind it as to how far up a tsunami could come, but it's a reminder to the children and the families every day that you need a plan. So that's now taken off. It's gone to Auckland, it's gone to Oregon, and I think it may be appear in other places. So that's what we've shared. We've certainly learning a lot in the natural environment area, and again, it's an area that often women are more interested in than men, not always. That connection with community gardens, with planting, with urban agriculture, so that people know where their food comes from. But all of the good initiatives I mentioned, they're certainly not women only. They're for everybody.
And lastly, if you had one advice to give to a young person or older, any woman who wants to enter politics, what would be the advice for her?
Do it.
Thank you. You have a beautiful coat, or how you said that?
Jacket.
Jackets. Do you want to say a word about the jacket?
Well, one of the things is that often women feel obligated to present a really smart appearance. I mean, for a man, it's suit, same suit, different tie if you're lucky. It's really easy. Whereas women, if you actually wore the same dress or the same suit every day, somebody go, why is she wearing the same things? So I decided that I was going to continue what I did before I became mayor and do a fair bit of second-hand shopping. So I have, there's a great charity that once a year does a very big pre-loved sale. So this jacket is, I think, part of a suit that cost me about $20, and I like it very much.